Good morning everyone. I wanted to do a quick video on iOS 12 updates. So just to start with, we've tested iOS 12 and it seems like the bugs have been sorted out and you are now safe to upgrade your device to iOS 12. The one app that was a problem has been fixed. We contacted the developers and they fixed it within the week, so Afrikaans department, you should be all good. For the rest of you, if you haven't updated, I'll just run you through how to do it. So see my finger, you want to find the settings button, which mine is here in the dock. I'm going to tap on settings. You're then going to make sure that you are on general here on the left, and then on the right you will see software update. So if you tap that, it will check for update, and mine, as you can see, is up to date. If yours is not up to date, you will click download and install and wait for the process to finish. If I click my home button to go back to my main screen, there are a few things that iOS 12 does which is slightly different. The main issue for most people is how to access your control center. So in the past you would have to swipe up from the top and it brought up your control center here on the right hand side along with your recent apps. Now it's only your recent apps that appear, okay, and you could still get to those by double tapping your home button. So that still works, but the control center is no more. So in order to get to your control center, they've tried to make it more like the iPhone. So in this case, you drag down with your finger from the top right, there where you see the percentage button of your battery and the Wi-Fi symbol. If you drag down from the right, your control center will now appear there. If you drag down from the middle, it's still your notification screen. That has not changed. So for those people who want to access your screen mirroring and air server, that is now pulling down from the right. Another change they made in iOS 12 is that some of the information that used to be here at the top of the status bar has now moved over to the left hand side, so the date and the time, for example. When you pull down from the middle to access your notifications, you have some advanced notification options. So dragging across to the right, you'll be able to manage notifications. So do you want to see all of these, more of these, remove them? View will actually take you into some more information about the notification, and then you can also clear it from there, or you can just tap the X button over there. Now another cool feature that they added is something called screen time. So you will be prompted when you install the new iOS to kind of acknowledge that screen time exists. So that is again found in settings, and you'll see right here at quite near the top is something called screen time. If I tap on that, it'll show you your screen time over the last sort of day or so. You can actually click on your name and then you'll see last 7 days, and it'll tell you that entertainment. So I've watched quite a lot of Showmax at home, but also productivity, games. It'll break it down how you actually use your iPad, very similar to how it works on the iPhone, and it's a very nice thing, especially to see what you spend your time on. Another new addition to iOS 12 is the inclusion of something called voice memos. Voice memos is pretty much what it says. It will let you record little voice notes that you can then refer to later, or if you want to make a little reminder for yourself. That's a pretty useful feature. You tap on it, it automatically finds your address and will rename it, you know, where the location is that you recorded the video. So if I press the red record button, it will then record everything I say, and I can press the pause button and the done button, and then that will be my new recording. If you play it back, it will then record everything I say. You have just created a little voice memo that you can use however you want. You can share it with the share button at the top, or you can delete it. Another new feature is something called Siri Shortcuts, which is quite useful. Some people might want to play with it. So again, you access that through your settings. Scroll down on the left hand side, Siri and search, and I've got one shortcut set up here. They have some suggestions for you. You can decide on some options here on the left. What do you want the voice to be like? Just swipe that notification out the way. So my shortcuts, I've set up one. I've set it so that when I tell Siri to open Engage, it will go straight to the Engage homepage. So let's test that. I long press and hold. Open Engage. And as you can see, it takes me straight to the Engage homepage. One more thing I'd like to mention is to go back into your control center. So if you pull down from the right, you'll see this little moon symbol, which is your do not disturb. Now if you 3D touch or long press and hold, it'll bring up some options there, and I would recommend this if you are using your iPad to mirror your screen in the class using AirServer. It's not a bad idea to mute your display, so do not disturb for 1 hour, which means you won't have any notifications or anything that come in and interrupt your lesson. So that's something that you can go around and play around with. The last thing I want to show you is something that I find very, very useful. So if you're in any text field, sometimes you want to kind of place the cursor in a specific spot, and you have to kind of guess like this by long pressing and holding where you want it exactly. Well, what they've just done is they have made a really nice way to actually be more precise when you do this, and for this you need the on-screen keyboard. So my hardware keyboard is open at this point, which is why you don't see the on-screen keyboard, but this little button here, if I press and hold that, it brings up the on-screen keyboard. And now to access the pointer which is there after girls high, if you press and hold the space bar, it then turns your whole keyboard into almost like a mouse, and you can be very precise and see exactly where you want to place your cursor without your finger being in the way. So if I want to place it at the end of my name and I let go, it brings back up my keyboard. So a very, very useful feature. There you go. So I think those are the most useful features that you might see in iOS 12. It also improves the responsiveness, and your whole device should feel a little bit faster and snappier. As I say, the kinks have been ironed out, so you are safe to upgrade. The latest version is 12.0.1, so they've even released a new update to 12.0. So go ahead and try and do that. Let me know if you have any problems. Thanks.